Now.
Good evening. We begin with breaking news. A woman is in extremely critical condition after a trailer caught fire this evening. It happened around 8 o'clock near Van Buren and 39th Avenue. Two others were treated at the scene for smoke inhalation. Sky 12 was over the scene as Phoenix Fire put out the flames. Our crew at the scene spoke with a man who ran into the burning trailer to try and save those who were inside.
I came out, I saw a lady running across the street, and then I see the trailer on flames. I come running over, I douse myself in water, and I just run into the trailer and start throwing people out, trying everything I could to get them out. I just wanted to get them out. Everybody here in this trailer park, we're all like family.
The cause of the fire has not been determined. Investigators are still on the scene trying to figure out how it started.
New tonight, just 5 weeks before voting starts in Arizona's next election, the Maricopa County Reporter is threatening felony charges against election workers who handle what he calls unauthorized ballot drop boxes. It's
the latest battle between the Recorder and the County Board of Supervisors. 12 News journalist Chase Golightly listened in on the board's fiery meeting tonight. And Chase, despite that threat, the board approved those drop box locations, right?
Mark, that's right, because during the meeting, the Board of Supervisors said this is a routine vote for them, that they always make this decision before an election here in Maricopa County. But now the Recorder and his attorney are saying that they don't agree with it.
County Recorder that is just plain out incompetent.
Strong words coming from the Maricopa County Board of Supervisors against County Recorder Justin Heap.
He's just being a coward. Just a straight up coward.
On Wednesday, the board was set to vote on locations for voting centers, emergency voting centers, and drop box locations for the upcoming primary.
This is a vote that is taking place by this board before every election.
But right before the meeting, they received this letter from Heap's attorney, saying under state law, only the Recorder possesses the statutory authority to designate the locations for drop boxes and to establish them, writing that by approving these locations without the Recorder's approval exposes the board and its employees to serious criminal liability, that election volunteers who handle the drop boxes could be charged with a felony.
This is the first time that I can recall of our own employees and volunteers being threatened with criminal penalties, not only in Maricopa County, but in Arizona and the United States of America. This is shocking and appalling.
When the board asked Heap to come to the meeting and explain his reasoning, he declined, saying in a statement online, this was not a good faith attempt at cooperation. It was political theater. The court has already ruled that the board does not possess unlimited authority over election administration. Yet the board continues attempting to exercise powers Arizona law assigns to the Recorder. One supervisor's response?
It's absolutely outrageous.
Claiming Heap and his staff knew about these locations, but hasn't been in communication with them about it.
We now have the County Recorder right now who's doing everything he can to compromise this election.
Concern for workers and what this could mean for voters in the weeks ahead.
We need a smooth election, and we can't do it in this environment.
Despite the threat, they still approved the locations unanimously, while asking Heap to be part of the conversation.
With thanks to my colleagues.
Now, in that same statement, Heap said he would be willing to meet with the Board of Supervisors if given a proper heads up of when that meeting will be. So we'll have to see what happens next and what this will mean for early voting, because again, we are just a couple weeks away. We're live in downtown Phoenix. Chase Golightly, 12 News.
All right, Chase, thank you. We're following a very disturbing story in Phoenix. A man is facing charges of sexual conduct with a corpse after allegedly breaking into the Maricopa County Medical Examiner's office. The sheriff's office says that it happened around 1:30 in the morning. Security officers and Phoenix Police Department searched the building and found the suspect, now identified as Furnace Lou. He faces several charges, including 1 count of burglary and 4 counts of sexual conduct with a dead body.
A baby delivered during emergency surgery last week after its mother was shot has died. The 17-year-old mother is still in the hospital recovering from her injuries. 18-year-old Michael Sanchez is accused of shooting and killing his girlfriend and 2 of her friends. The girlfriend, 16-year-old Riley Montgomery, was also pregnant. She died at the scene. The other friend, a 22-year-old woman, remains in critical condition.
This morning, the state successfully executed death row inmate Leroy McGill at the state prison complex in Florence. Our Sean Rice was one of 2 media witnesses inside the room as McGill took his last breath. He tells us the entire process took less than half an hour as McGill was put to death by lethal injection. His time of death was 10:26 a.m. The execution comes 22 years after a jury convicted him of first-degree murder in connection with the violent arson and murder at this North Phoenix duplex. There are no other executions currently scheduled here in Arizona.
A man has been indicted after allegedly setting fire to the building set to be an ICE facility in Surprise. It happened back in February. These are some pictures of that incident. A grand jury has charged 19-year-old Gabriel Mendoza Alcozzi with malicious damage to federal property. Prosecutors say video shows him smashing a lobby window and then using a propane torch to spray fire inside. Investigators say they also found anti-ICE rhetoric spelled out with rocks on the sidewalk. If he's found guilty, Mendoza Alcozzi could face 5 to 20 years in prison.
New tonight, the city of Phoenix has approved stricter rules on fireworks, changing where they're allowed and increasing penalties. The new rules even target some fireworks that typically were considered legal. 12 News journalist Tiani Jadaling is joining us live in Phoenix, and she spoke with experts and shares what all of this means. Tiani?
Crebe, these new rules ban fireworks at all city-owned property, including public parks like the one we're standing at right now. They even ban legal fireworks like those sparklers we see during the holidays within a 1-mile radius around those mountain preserves. But the biggest takeaway is that additional enforcement.
The code provides provisions that prohibit use within 1 mile of mountain preserves and certain parks. It provides language that strengthens the ability to enforce civil and criminal penalties. And the task force will also be recommending updating the fire codes.
Those were just some of the recommendations made at a Phoenix Public Safety and Justice Subcommittee meeting earlier this month. The proposal brought forward repeals and replaces the city's current code for fireworks with a newly written ordinance. And Wednesday afternoon, these new rules passed in a 7-0 vote. The task force laid down a map where these new restrictions apply for both legal and illegal fireworks.
This map indicates in red which areas this restriction would apply to. During stage 1 fire restrictions, the statute also allows other park properties to have a similar 1-mile boundary around them where fireworks would be restricted.
The new ordinance gives local police the power to seize and destroy illegal fireworks and allows for civil fines up to $2,500 or up to 6 months in jail for violations.
Previously, a fireworks city code violation was a class 1 misdemeanor. The new city code will allow for civil or criminal violations.
The rules allowing for the city to bill for emergency response and cleanup costs will be put into effect starting this summer. Many officials are citing concerns in past years about wildfires, noise, and air quality worsening around the holidays. And residents we spoke to have their concerns, too.
We can't afford to get a fire here in Phoenix. We don't get very much rainfall, so I can imagine, a fire is not going to benefit anybody.
According to the Phoenix Fire Department, keeping fireworks away from mountain preserves and public areas could help lower any potential risk for fire.
If we could minimize the dangers by removing that danger, that's the best thing we can do for it, because the wildland fire is always a danger to us. We are in the middle of a desert, it's very dry, a lot of brush around there, so it's best to keep it away from that area if possible.
Moving forward, an interactive map that is will be placed on the city's website, giving residents a clear understanding of how these changes will affect them. Live in Phoenix, I'm Tiani Jadaling, 12 News.
All right, Tiani, thanks. A domestic violence call led to a shooting involving Glendale police this morning at a business near Bell Road and 63rd Avenue. Police say a man and a woman went inside the business around 10 a.m. They say the woman was trying to buy a gun. The manager noticed a large cut on her hand, and then she mouthed the words, "Call 911" to him. The man then started to become agitated, so the manager called police. When 2 officers arrived, the man and the woman started arguing. Officers tried to separate the man from the woman, but the man got behind her, wrapped his arm around her neck, and then pulled a knife from his waistband. That's when officers shot the man. police believe that he and the woman were romantically involved. No officers were hurt, and neither was anyone inside the business.
Tonight, 5 people are without a home after this massive fire in West Phoenix. Crews say that it started just around 9 a.m. in a neighborhood near 59th Avenue and Thomas. Phoenix Fire says that it burned through the carport and then to the back of the house, eventually spreading into the attic. A neighbor said that they heard the fire and called 911, and one of them even ran into the house to see if anybody was inside.
We went inside the house, we knocked the door, and we checked if someone was inside. Nobody was in there, no pets, nothing.
I heard a bunch of banging, kind of like things exploding, so I came out here and I just saw a billow of black smoke, and then that's when the flames came out from the back.
Thankfully, no one was inside and no one was hurt in this fire. The cause is now under investigation.
New results are in from Tempe's city council election. With just 260 total ballots left to be counted, it appears as if big changes are coming to the council. The 2 top vote getters will win the remaining seats on the city council. Both Brooke St. George and Bobby Nichols appear to have defeated the incumbents, Verdetta Hodge and Jennifer Adams. The election still has to be certified before it becomes official. The winners of the Tempe runoff will be sworn in at the July City Council meeting.